Hey guys, Angad from Ignite here to do a video on the key themes in Inside My Mother. But before we get into it, please check out ignitehsc.com.au for heaps more HSC resources, and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. So there are three key themes that you want to think about when you're thinking about this text: dispossession, family, kin and country, and perceptions of culture and memory. Now, dispossession basically refers to the stolen generation and the forcible removal of a lot of Aboriginal children from their homes. They were taken to missions and sought to be Christianized by the colonial people who were occupying the land at that time. Now, this period was defined by a lot of trauma for a lot of Aboriginal people in the past, present, and into the future. And Eckermann herself was a member of the dispossession. She was a stolen child, as was her son, who was forcibly removed from her. And she talks about these themes at length in her poetry, and it forms a key part of the way in which she relates to her Aboriginal heritage and the disconnect she feels with the Australian landscape itself. And this connects really nicely onto the next key theme, which is family, kin and country. By country, the Aboriginal relationship with Australia is quite different to how Western people perceive it. That is, Aboriginal people feel that they belong to the land, whereas Western attitudes feel like we own the land. So that distinction between the Western perspective and the Aboriginal perspective is quite a jarring idea and hard for a lot of Western people to understand. In terms of this relationship with country, Aboriginal people relate they feel like a lot of their family connections are embedded in the land, and this is evident in a lot of their Dreamtime stories and the way in which they relate to the past, because they feel that because they have such a strong familial relationship with the country, that their ancestors remain in that land. And so if we think about modern issues today associated with land rights, whether that's the current Australia Day or Invasion Day discussion, excavation, mining in lands, this modern destruction or abuse or economic incentive to get out of the land is quite a hard thing to deal with for a lot of Aboriginal people, because essentially this value that politicians and a lot of current institutions try to get out of this land is fracturing and isolating a lot of Aboriginal people from maintaining that connection that they've had since day dawn. And again, as per Lees and Key, really address these issues and these natural feelings of dispossession and trauma especially are evident throughout all of the poems that you read, and they're an important thing to consider. And I guess another offshoot of that is perceptions of culture and memory. As I said before, Aboriginal people have a really deep connection with the land, and that defines how they relate culturally. And culturally means the set of values and beliefs that a community hold. And so if, for Aboriginal people, they're living in a modern society where they're unable to connect with the land that they've lived on for many years, we see that their own identity, their own beliefs toward their culture is severely fractured. And this causes a lot of continued trauma, and it becomes a difficult thing to deal with in the present. Things like the stolen generation that I've mentioned previously, but also modern things like the issues on land rights and the government aspect of paternalism towards taking care of Aboriginal people without recognising their interests is a continued source for trauma and for difficulties that Aboriginal people may face in feeling a sense of belonging in society. So memory also, if we think about dreaming stories and the long history that Aboriginal people have with the land, the importance they have with family, also the deep relationship they have with the natural world. When modern issues of excavation and abuses of the land arise, this tends to fracture memory for future generations in being unable to connect with their familial heritage. And this causes a really deep sense of fracture and disconnection. And again, Eckermann herself, as has been mentioned, was a member of the stolen generation, and she seeks to bring this conversation into the Western society and to make these issues relevant and accessible also for a white, non-Aboriginal audience. And that's one of her main issues that she focuses on throughout. In summary, when you're thinking about all of these poems, whilst there may be specific poems that deal with specific themes, in general, all of the themes point to a history of disconnection and forcible disconnection from land and from family. And the feelings of not being able to belong and not being able to relate to the land that you live in is a deep theme that runs throughout, and it's something you should definitely be aware of, particularly considering Eckermann's deep connection with that. So that's key themes inside My Mother. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Again, if you want to get more resources like this, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you want more longer, in-depth HSC resources with analysis, quotes, and essays, be sure to check out our website, ignitehsc.com.au. Thanks again for checking in. See you in the next video.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right, guys. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehsc.com.au, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.